welcome to About Town. I'm Susan Stevens.
And I'm Kathy Whiteman. Thanks so much for joining us for our first official edition of About Town in the new year. We've got highlights from the Martin Luther King celebration and a preview of Mainstage Irving Las Colinas' production of Anna in the Tropics.
We'll also have all the details on Frost Fest, a new exhibit at the Irving Archives and Museum called I Am a Man, and we'll meet two of the artists featured in the Black History Month exhibit hosted by the Irving Black Arts Council.
So Susan, I know that the Oscars race is really starting to heat up right now. Do you have any contenders on your short list?
Yeah, I think Power of the Dog seems to be the front runner for Best Picture, but you know, Belfast, West Side Story, Licorice Pizza, all those movies, it's anyone's to win. But later in the show, I've got a review of a strong contender for Best International Feature.
Okay, so we'll look forward to seeing that later in the show.
Yeah. As always, we'd love to hear your feedback. Tell us about events going on around the community, people we should profile, or stories you'd like to see on the show.
You can email us at ictn@cityofirving.org or connect with us on social media. So please subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter. We'd love to hear from you. Reaching the Mountaintop was the theme for the 2022 Martin Luther King Day celebration. Words, music, and movement combined to create a moving tribute to Dr. King's legacy. Here are some highlights.
In the Lord, we shall overcome. Deep in my heart, I do believe.
The City of Irving's annual celebration of Dr. King's legacy combined the power of his words with the emotional impact of music and movement to highlight this year's theme, Reaching the Mountaintop.
We just felt like this year that really resonated with what we're going through in the world.
This year's essay contest winners used the power of their own words, inspired by Dr. King's message.
Dr. King had lots of faith in us, and we have to honor him by doing our best to reach the stars and to reach the peak of the mountain.
These triumphs of justice were all achieved by hard toil and efforts of many people coming together for a cause and continuing to fight for their cause until it was achieved.
We can be upstanders and not bystanders when we see injustice happen around us.
All of the kids did a phenomenal job with addressing how in their everyday lives they are not only reaching that mountaintop, but they're encouraging their peers to do the same.
Dallas Black Dance Theater Encore brought their trademark virtuoso choreography again this year. And special guest artist Kamika King enchanted the audience with her beautiful original songs.
Listen now, you can't tear me down, no, because I'm on my way unto higher heights, unto a brighter day.
But Dr. King's enduring message remained the foundation of the evening.
The masses of people are rising up, and wherever they are assembled today.
Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. understood the power of words. He used them to encourage, to extol, to edify, and to unify. And in doing so, he created a movement that would change the nation.
Always the same, we want to be free.
This is Kathy Whiteman reporting.
The Irving events team never rests. Up next on their schedule is the Winter Festival, Frost Fest.
One of my favorites. Megan Gordon and Holly Norman are here to tell us more. Ladies, it's great to see you as always.
You guys, yeah.
So this year is a big change for Frost Fest, a big move to someplace new. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we are going to the Levy Event Plaza, which we're super excited about. We haven't had a City of Irving event out there since July 4th. So I would like to think that this one's going to be just as great. So we're super excited to break in that plaza a little bit more this year with Frost Fest coming up.
Yeah, and let everybody see, because the place is gorgeous now, and it's so set up for events and so nice and central. So it's really great.
Yeah. Can you tell us what visitors can look forward to at the event this year?
Absolutely. So, of course, the kids are going to have, should I just play around with it and say snow much fun? There's going to be snow everywhere. The super fun slides that the kids, that's the big main feature, is sliding, because kids don't get that here, right?
Yeah.
So there'll be snow slides. There's going to be an ice carver. We're going to have a snow play field. We'll have some animal features there, the one-on-one connection with that. We're going to have the library out there. We'll have lots of fun, different activities. We'll have food trucks and more activities to come.
Wow.
Yeah, the snow tube is actually my favorite part of it too. I even like riding that thing.
Yeah, you know, never grow up. Just let's not do that. Let's not do that. So what do people need to know, parking and those kind of particulars?
Yes, so the event will begin at 10 a.m. It's 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. It'll be at the Levy Event Plaza like we established, but parking is actually at the Summit Parking Garage. If you go to irvingevents.org, you'll find more information on directions to that exact parking garage. Parking is $10. Other than that, come to Snowfest. Everything at, did I just call it Snowfest?
You did, because they're going to have snow. Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, well, at FrostFest, everything will be free at FrostFest. So other than parking, come out and enjoy the free activities and fun for the whole family.
Sounds like so much
Yeah,
fun.
oh, it is. And so what do you guys have coming up in the spring? Any events you can tease?
Well, since we're right on the heels of our holidays at Heritage, we thought what other fun way would it be than to have On Stage at Heritage and offer some different features. It'll be the second Friday of each month coming up from March until September, and we'll have different features, either concerts, comedy, movie nights, car show, just some fun activities for families to come out and have, you know, family time in the Friday nights.
That is just great.
Yeah.
It's like we said, the Irving Events team never rests.
No,
You guys have something going all the time. Folks, don't miss FrostFest. It's at Levy Plaza, Saturday, February 19th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. For all your details, go to irvingevents.org. In this week's Feature Flick, Susan reviews a contender for the Best International Feature Film Oscar, A Hero. And for all you This Is Us fans, full disclosure, I am with you. A preview of the final season. Get your tissue ready. Susan?
Thanks, Kathy. Iran's official selection for Best International Feature Film, A Hero, has been creating a lot of Oscar buzz, as two-time Academy Award winner Asghar Farhadi has created another fantastic piece of work.
الان برای چی اومدید زندان؟
ولی خب شریکم پولم برداشت برای همین نتونستم قسطی وام پرداخت بکنم.
Over the years, director Asghar Farhadi has tried to create empathy between audiences and the characters he writes. In A Hero, we follow Rahim, played by Amir Jadidi, a man who is in prison for an unpaid debt. During his 2-day leave, he finds a bag of money and returns it to the owner, hoping his good deed might end his prison time. When the media catches news of him returning the money while he had debt, they spin him as a hero. They milk his sob story and his son who struggles with a speech impediment. But like we all know, one day the media can love you and the next day they can destroy you. Unfortunately for Rahim, he has a history of lying, and it's hard to decipher whether or not he's being honest. Needless to say, things get out of hand fast.
شما آقایی نیستی که تو تلویزیون اخبار استانشون میداد؟
بله. تو محل این بم صدا کرده. فقط 10 نفر به من زنگ زدن پیغام فرستادن به رحیم بگو افتخار مایی.
What makes A Hero so captivating is Asghar's writing and directing. He has a Hitchcockian style of storytelling. Though his films are dramas, they are filled with thriller-like elements. His simple plots start off like a hanging thread that he slowly pulls at until it ultimately unravels. A Hero is a nail-biting experience, and as Farhadi continues to keep audiences on the edge of their seats, he constructs an intricate story that powerfully showcases manipulation through social media.
نمیدونم این مردی که کیه که تو به خاطر این آبرو خودت و خانواده‌تو داری بباد. این مردی که همه زندگی منه.
بابا من یه کار نکرده باشی آبرو خودت و خانواده رو ببری دیگه نتونم توی شهر سر بلند کنم.
چه کاری کردی؟ چرا کار کردی؟
چیکار کردی؟
Now for a television spotlight. I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited and sad about the 6th and final season of This Is Us. We are finally getting to piece together the Pearson family ending we've been teased since season 1. Who will Kevin end up with? Do Kate and Toby really end their marriage? What does the future hold for Randall and his family? And what takes place at Rebecca's final goodbye. The first couple of episodes has been hinting at some new romances and heartbreaking tearjerkers. Here's a look at the preview for the final season of This Is Us.
I'm losing my memory. Sometimes I think about what my very last memory will be before the candle goes out. It's so wild to be a part of a show that means so much to so many people. You would think that this diagnosis would help me sweat the small stuff less, but not really. I hope the show is remembered fondly. I hope that people find the parallels between their lives and what they're seeing on the show. That, to me, is sort of what makes it so special.
Hey, Big Three. Do you three know how much I love your mother? I mean, do you even have any idea? I hope people take away from the show what we've all experienced. This idea of family, this is us, truly is us. It's ours, like this is ours.
36 years ago, you left me at the front door of a fire station. I came here today so I could look you in the eye, say that to you.
You want to come in?
Okay.
There's been a multitude of gorgeous moments that have transpired over the past 6 years.
Nothing is forever, except us.
This Is Us is always gonna be the show that showed us who we are. And I think that people feel like that's really special, you know?
Be a show that people can go back to and watch. I hope that it's a show that lasts forever. Don't get me crying. Didn't want to cry, but that's who I am. It's okay. I love my crazy ass brother. I really do.
I just seriously doubt there will ever be another group of people to film a television show or to do anything really that are that special. How lucky am I?
As sad as it is, I think these last episodes are quite joyful.
To the new Big Three.
The new big three. I like that. Well, I think saying goodbye is going to be hard because as a cast and as friends, I know I'm going to miss that.
I love you. Nothing is ever gonna feel like this again. I'll miss that. I'm not worried about forgetting about the big stuff. It's the little things I'm not ready to let go of yet.
Even though it may upset some people, but like to leave while you still be missed, that's a good thing.
A Hero is playing in an exclusive engagement at the Angelica Film Center, Dallas. For more of Susan's reviews and celebrity interviews, visit thischicksflicks.com.
The new exhibit, I Am a Man, opens January 28th at the Irving Archives and Museum.
Jen Landry is here with all the details. Thanks so much for coming today, Jen. It's great to see you.
Yeah. Good to see you too. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
So I love this exhibit. Everything that I've heard about it, can't wait to see it. But I don't want to go on and on. Tell us what this exhibit is dealing with.
Yes, so this is I Am a Man, and it's civil rights photographs from 1960 to 1970. So it looks at that decade where there's just this huge transformation happening in the country, and the civil rights movement is, it's really the heat of it. And many of the images, it's a photography show, and many of the images you'll recognize, but there are also photographs in it that are not as recognizable, and it documents the movement across the South. And then one of the neat things about this exhibition is it also ties in a timeline of the decade itself. And so it's not just civil rights, it's science and technology and just this rapid transformation and disruption that is happening during that decade. And you can see how it's this bigger holistic event happening, not just these isolated incidents.
Yeah. Well, I guess you touched on the photographs. So what kinds of photographs, as far as like who took them or were they,
Yeah, so some are professional photographers, but then there's also a lot of young photojournalists that go on to have, esteemed careers, but still very young people during the movement, and they're in the movement. They're on the front line, and so these are personal, up close images of the protests, of people engaged in the movement, and some just very intimate and personal. Like there's one of someone's feet on the march from Selma to Montgomery. They're blistered because they've been walking, and so just really some real personal touching images.
It's so interesting to me that many of us forget, because the folks who were in the leadership of the civil rights movement at the time were, you know, adults. So many of the people who were the foot soldiers were young, some even teenagers. You think about John Lewis, I don't think he was 18 yet. So, I mean, it's really interesting that they decided to include photographs by those kinds of folks in the exhibit as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's such an importance of, you know, students involved in the movement, I mean, the youth of the movement. And then there's also images of older people. So there's an image of a 105-year-old woman in 1965 registering to vote. So she's formerly enslaved. And she's now registering to vote. I mean, so just, you know, the spectrum of what it took to move us forward in terms of justice.
I have to ask you, where did the name for the exhibit come from?
So I'm a Man, I'm going to read the quote because I don't want to mess up. So I'm a Man actually comes, so in 1968, the Memphis sanitation workers go on strike because they're really being treated unjustly. 2 black men died being crushed during, you know, by the sanitation garbage machines. Dr. King goes several times to Memphis to support the strike. And Reverend James Lawson, in a message to the strikers, says, "For at the heart of racism is the idea that a man is not a man." And so from that, they developed the placard that says, "I am a man." So basically standing up and saying, you know, I am a man, I am a person, and I matter, and I need to have equality and be treated justly.
It's an iconic picture. I'll never forget it.
Well, and that statement, that's powerful. Well, what do viewers need to know when visiting the museum?
So I would like to emphasize we are a safe place. I know that in this time, I mean, myself, I, you know, think carefully about where I'm visiting and what I'm doing right now. And, you know, we have put together a strong safety plan. We've been fortunate the city has upgraded our HVAC systems. We have top of the line filtration. Sanitization happens daily. And it's a space that's wide open, and so it is very easy to socially distance. So I would encourage you, if you're looking for something to do, maybe you just want to see a place other than your own 4 walls. It is a safe respite, and just, I think, you know, we encourage people just to come if they just want to come sit and look out the windows. But the exhibitions certainly give you a nice reprieve. So.
Well, I am really looking forward to this.
Yeah,
I mean, that era is one that I don't think you could ever learn enough about it because it had such an impact on where we are today. So, so everyone, the exhibit is called "I Am a Man: Civil Rights Photographs in the American South," and it runs from January 28th to March 16th. Visit IrvingArchivesAndMuseum.com for more information.
Conflict, drama, and a love triangle. They're all part of the newest show at Irving Art Center, presented by Mainstage Irving Las Colinas.
Anna in the Tropics follows a Cuban family running their own cigar factory in Florida during the 1920s. Early in the performance, the family hires a storyteller.
In order to sort of bring pleasure and life to the workers while they work.
He reads Tolstoy's iconic tale, Anna Karenina.
It's a mixture of family, love, and devastation.
The story sparks tension within the family.
Your father? Why not your husband?
Conflict ensues on stage, but off stage, there's a camaraderie with a cast that exemplifies representation and inclusion.
It was really important for me personally to do a script that was written by a Latino as a Latino.
It supports a lot of Latinx actors. A lot of us, we don't have a lot of work, so something that's Latinx based and focus brings out the best of the best.
With all the struggles that have been going on, the racial tension that has been going on within our country in the last few years, it's nice that a community theater organization is actually saying, you know what, we want to take the steps that we can, and part of that is making sure that we have Latino-led productions. I think representation is really important, and one of the hardest things for theaters to do is identify what shows need representation.
I've seen a lot of interviews of, you know, the celebrity Latinx actors and actresses, and just even their experiences of they've been doing this for years and they're finally being able to play roles that haven't been well represented, and even to them it's a dream come true, and it's I'm a representation for the little kids that, like, you are on the stage, you are on the screen.
And this stage is filled with intrigue and drama. and at the same time is an entertaining poetic story.
I just hope everyone comes and enjoys it. We've put in a lot of hard work with it. I've enjoyed my time, and I'm going to be really sad when we end.
For About Town, this is Susan Stevens.
How could you say that you've lost me?
Anna in the Tropics continues in the Dupree Theater through February 5th. Remember, this one is for mature audiences. For tickets and showtimes, call 972-252-ARTS or visit irvingartscenter.com. The Irving Black Arts Council is hosting their annual exhibition in honor of Black History Month.
Two of their featured artists are with us to give us a preview of the exhibit, Lloyd Mays and Elijah Thomas. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us here.
Yeah.
It is a pleasure to have you here. This art exhibit is one that I look forward to every year because they always bring us such wonderful artists from varied backgrounds, and the impact of the work is always like, whoa, it blows me away. So let me ask both of you, and I'll start with you, Elijah. Why did you decide to exhibit this year?
I'm really getting out of my shell in my art career, and this was just an opportunity I couldn't pass up. So upon being accepted, I was just ecstatic about it.
That's great. And Lloyd, you made a trip to be involved in this. Can you tell us a little bit about why
Oh, yes. I came from Brenham. Best little town in Texas for living, retiring, and just spending the weekend. Yeah. But anyway, I came because I partly wanted to fulfill a promise that I gave to my mother, that when Martin Luther King got killed, I was very young, but she came and she was crying and she shook me and she said, "You better do something." And I was like, "Okay, Mama," but I didn't kill him. I'll do whatever I can. And I thought it would be in football, but that didn't happen. I got kicked off the team. So later in life, I just started drawing and painting. I had a lot of brothers and they could all draw. And so I just fed off of what they were doing and added a little bit to myself, from myself.
Well, I'll say that it's pretty impressive. This is a book that he's written. It's autobiographical and just beautiful, beautiful work. So
yeah, yeah. That story got me a little emotional just hearing you talk about that.
Right?
That was very that's awesome. But what can you both tell us about the theme, art uninterrupted?
You want to go first?
Yes, I suppose so. Art Interrupted is essentially about finding what you want to do as an artist and really diving into your own unique style. There's so many ways to do art that traditional art doesn't cut it anymore. People are wanting to contemporize their art, and they're wanting to add their own flair to it, as we do. And that's pretty much what I'm bringing to the table, is my own style.
That's
great. Yeah. Lloyd?
Well, I was able to finally feel free. Because a lot of times you just conform to what society wants you to do. And this way, it's like, I don't care, I love what I'm doing, and so I just keep doing it.
And we'll have an opportunity to see what that looks like visually when we visit the exhibit. So, Lloyd, I want to know a little bit more about your work. I mean, I see a definite style and interest here, but what kind of subject matter are you?
Well, I work with acrylics, and it's more along the lines of folk art, and so I have a good time doing that, and it's easier for me because it takes oil so long to dry, but acrylics right on time.
You can make that work happen. What about you, Elijah?
I do both. I primarily study with acrylics. I love the color pop that they have to them. With oil, it takes a long time to dry, like you said. And while there are ways to shorten that time period, just acrylic is so much more vivid, and like it pulls you into the painting.
I love seeing both, but I agree with you that there's something about the way that color pops with the acrylics. It's just gorgeous.
Yeah. Well, we look forward to seeing both of y'all's artwork and the others at the exhibit this Saturday.
Absolutely, looking forward to it.
Thank you.
So folks, make sure that you check out the artist's reception on Saturday, February 5th at the Irving Arts Center. The other artists are Nikki Delk, Vanessa Mishak, Kamiko Johnson, and Warwick McDonald. You can meet them all Saturday, February 5th, 5 to 7 p.m. at the Irving Arts Center main gallery. The exhibit runs through February 26th.
The Dupree Lobby Gallery at the Irving Arts Center currently has a display of the winners of the Coretta Scott King Illustrator Awards. Here's a look at this impressive work and a list of other excellent things to do about town.
And here are some other fun things to do happening about town. The Irving Public Library wants you to go on a blind date with a book. Find your perfect book match and win prizes at any library location. Get the details at cityofirving.org/library. The event runs January 31st through February 14th.
Hear the world's most romantic music when the new Philharmonic Orchestra of Irving presents Great Love Songs, Sunday, February 6th at 3:30 p.m. in Carpenter Hall. Call 972-252-ARTS for tickets.
If you're looking for the perfect pet to love, the Irving Animal Care Campus is offering reduced fee adoptions for any pet 1 year and older. Check out the available pets online, then visit the adoption kennels between February 8th and 12th. For more details, visit cityofirving.org/animal-services.
The Irving Public Library celebrates the 100th anniversary of the discovery of King Tut's tomb with an exhibit of museum replicas. See models of King Tut's gold mask, furniture, and more at the South Irving Library, February 12th through 28th. Find more details at cityofirving.org/library. And that wraps up this edition of About Town. Thanks for joining us.
Please be sure to tune in next time for highlights from Art Uninterrupted, the Irving Black Arts Council's Black History Month art exhibit.
We'll also check out Youth America Grand Prix, the largest international ballet competition for young dancers.
We'll leave you tonight with another look at Kamika King in performance at the 2022 MLK celebration. For About Town, I'm Kathy Whiteman.
And I'm Susan Stevens. Have a great evening.